All right, so today we're going to dive deep into Alan Watts and his ideas about living in the present moment. We're
Whoa.
looking specifically at his article, The Eternal Now.
Okay.
And yeah, this is one that can really shift your perspective.
Absolutely.
He even says that pursuing fulfillment in the future is a hoax.
Yeah, it's so interesting how he just cuts through all the noise
Yeah,
and gets right to the core of, why so many of us feel stuck,
right,
always
exactly.
chasing a better future,
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, I'll be happy when.
Mm.
But, as Watts points out, that kind of thinking actually prevents us from experiencing all the richness
Yeah.
of what's happening right now.
Yeah. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
This whole eternal now idea.
Yeah.
Watts says that most of us are missing out on it because we're either dwelling on the past or obsessing over the future.
Mm.
So it's like we're never really here.
Yeah. And, the thing is, our minds are just wired for distraction.
Oh, yeah.
We're constantly analyzing, planning,
Mhm.
worrying. It's no wonder that we have trouble staying present.
Right.
But Watts really challenges us to kind of break free from that mental chatter
Yeah.
and tap into the aliveness of this moment.
I like that.
Yeah.
And he uses some really striking imagery to illustrate his points.
Yes.
Like he talks about how we try to capture the vastness of a sunset by describing its colors.
Mm-hmm.
But by doing that, we actually miss the actual experience of the sunset.
Totally. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like trying to explain profound experiences like love or joy.
Right.
I mean, words just fall short.
They do.
Watts reminds us that, true understanding comes from direct experience.
Yeah.
Not just from intellectualizing things.
Right. I mean, I think about that with music, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. How can you even describe music?
You can't.
You just have to experience it.
Exactly.
So speaking of falling short,
Yeah.
Watts has this great analogy about materialism,
Okay.
where he compares chasing wealth to eating paper currency,
Oh, yeah.
which is hilarious.
It is. It's funny.
But it really does make you think about
Yeah. It makes the
how
point.
empty those pursuits can be.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to satisfy your hunger with something that has zero nutritional value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you bring up this idea of this constant striving for more
Mm-hmm.
can actually keep us from feeling content, right now.
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always struggle with the concept of time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so linear, so relentless.
Yeah.
But Watts has a totally different perspective.
Okay.
He argues that time, as we perceive it, is actually something that we create in our minds.
Mm.
It's not this objective reality that we're bound by.
It's interesting to think about that in relation to this whole eternal now concept.
Yeah.
If time is more of an illusion, then this present moment is really the only true reality.
Mm.
The only place we can truly experience life directly.
Yeah.
And, by letting go of anxieties about the past and the future, we can actually tap into a completely different experience of time altogether. And it's interesting because, this idea of living in the present isn't just some new age fad. Right. Watts actually points to wisdom from Confucius, the Sermon on the Mount. Yeah. All these different traditions that have emphasized this for centuries.
Exactly. That repetition, is really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that phrase from the Sermon on the Mount? Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so, that simple message has resonated across cultures and time periods.
Yeah.
Really shows you just how important focusing on the present moment can be.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where it starts to get really thought-provoking.
Okay.
Watts debunks the idea that we need to achieve a certain level of success or enlightenment before we can be happy.
Right.
He calls it the myth of readiness.
Oh, I love that.
And I think we've all fallen for it at some point.
Oh, yeah, the myth of readiness is a sneaky trap.
It is.
Because it keeps us constantly striving and thinking, I'll be happy when I get that promotion.
Yeah.
I'll be happy when I lose those 10 pounds or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But Watts reminds us that happiness is available to us right now,
Yeah.
regardless of our circumstances.
So let's get even deeper.
Like,
Watts talks about the ego as a fabricated self-concept that doesn't actually exist.
Right.
It's like we've created this image of ourselves that we cling to, but it's ultimately just an illusion.
Yeah.
So what happens when we let go of that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Watts suggests that true liberation comes from recognizing that the ego is just a construct.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine the freedom that comes from letting go of that fabricated identity.
Right.
We might even experience a sense of interconnectedness
Yeah.
with everything around us.
Okay, and so how do we actually, like, achieve that liberation?
Well, Watts talks about accepting things as they are
Yeah.
and letting go of our need to control everything.
So it's about surrendering to the flow of life
Mm-hmm.
instead of constantly trying to force things to go our way. And when we let go of attachments and the illusion of control, it opens us up to a deeper level of peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we might even start to see that everything's interconnected,
Yeah.
that we're part of something much larger than ourselves.
Yes.
So to put it simply, Watts believes that true freedom comes not from transforming ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but from letting go of those ego-driven desires and surrendering to the present moment.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. It is a powerful idea.
Really is.
Yeah, it's a pretty profound shift in thinking.
It is.
But how do we actually, like, apply this stuff in our everyday lives?
Right.
It's one thing to understand the concept of the eternal now,
Mm-hmm.
but how do we actually, like, live it?
Yeah, you're not going to become some kind of Zen master overnight.
Right.
Watts talks about like mindfulness,
Yeah.
grounding ourselves in the present moment through practices like meditation.
Okay.
Have you ever tried that?
I've dabbled.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I'm not always super consistent.
Yeah.
I get distracted easily.
Right.
But I can definitely see how cultivating that kind of present moment awareness could be really transformative.
It can, yeah. Mindfulness is about like paying attention to your thoughts and feelings and sensations without judgment, just kind of observing them as they come and go.
Right.
And meditation helps us develop that ability to like step back from the constant mental chatter
Yeah.
and connect with a deeper sense of stillness.
Watts also talks about redefining our idea of success.
Yes.
He says it's not about like external achievements,
Right.
possessions,
Mm-hmm.
but the quality of our awareness and engagement with life.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's a pretty radical idea
It is.
in our, like, super achievement-oriented culture.
It really is.
I mean, would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Watts challenges us to shift our focus from like chasing external validation
Mm-hmm.
to actually cultivating inner peace and contentment.
It's funny because I catch myself doing this all the time. It's like,
Okay.
I'll be happy when I achieve X.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get there, it's like, okay, what's next?
What's next?
It never really ends.
Right. And that's that trap that Watts is trying to help us avoid.
Yeah.
He's emphasizing the importance of letting go of those like ego-driven narratives
Right.
and embracing the freedom that comes from surrendering to the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing that our thoughts and beliefs aren't these like absolute truths.
Okay.
They're just mental constructs that can actually keep us stuck in these cycles of suffering.
So you're saying that by letting go of those limiting beliefs,
Mm.
we can kind of open ourselves up
Yeah.
to a whole new way of experiencing life.
Exactly. Maybe even a deeper understanding of ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and the world around us.
It's a lot to take in,
It is.
but it's incredibly inspiring.
It is.
Watts is really challenging us to re-examine our like deepest beliefs about time,
Yeah.
happiness, even the nature of reality.
Yeah. And even though his ideas might seem radical,
Yeah.
they offer this really cool path towards a more authentic,
Yeah.
joyful, fulfilling way of being.
And you know what I like is that he doesn't just present these ideas in this like abstract way.
Right.
He uses really vivid analogies.
Mm-hmm.
Relatable examples like the eating dollar bills metaphor.
Yeah, exactly.
It really helps to make these complex concepts more accessible to
Right.
everyone, regardless of like their background with philosophy or whatever.
Yeah, totally. He has such a knack for taking these profound spiritual truths
Yeah,
and making them relevant to our everyday lives.
absolutely.
It's both intellectually stimulating and practical.
It is.
It's like he's saying, don't just understand these concepts,
Right.
actually live them.
Yeah, so think about this for our listener.
Okay.
What if you could truly embrace the power of the present moment?
Mm-hmm.
What would that look like in your life?
Yeah.
How would it change the way you interact with others?
Yeah.
Approach your work or just experience the world around you?
Those are some big questions.
AR.
But I think Wass gives us the tools to really explore them.
I think so too.
And his message is ultimately one of hope.
An empowerment. It's this reminder that we're not victims of time or circumstance,
Right.
but active participants in shaping our reality.
By choosing to focus on the present moment,
Yeah.
cultivating mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
letting go of those ego-driven desires, you can experience this profound sense of freedom and joy
Yeah.
that's always available to us,
No matter what.
no matter what our circumstances are.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a call to awaken to like the richness of this very moment and embrace the possibilities that open up when we let go of those limiting beliefs.
Sounds like a journey
It is a journey.
of self-discovery.
It is. It might not always be easy,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a journey worth taking.
The rewards of living in the eternal now are pretty immense.
They are.
Greater peace,
Yeah.
joy, a deeper connection to ourselves,
Yeah.
to others,
That's-
to the universe itself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing how just like shifting your perspective a little bit can open up all these possibilities. And for anyone listening who wants to like dive even deeper into Watt's work, we'll put a link to the full article,
Fine.
The Eternal Now, in the show notes.
Awesome. Yeah. You might even find yourself coming back to it again and again.
Yeah.
And like each time you read it, you uncover new insights.
Right.
You find new ways to like apply his wisdom.
I know, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion, right? Because there's always more to discover.
Always.
Okay, so before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I wanted to leave you with a question to think about.
Ooh, I like these.
Something that came up for me as we were talking about all this.
Okay.
It's kind of inspired by Watts, but we haven't really talked about it directly.
Lay it on me.
All right, so if you truly believed that this present moment was all there is,
Okay.
how would it change the way you approach your life?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Yeah.
It really gets to the heart of what Watts is trying to teach us.
Yeah.
It challenges us to let go of that illusion of control and embrace uncertainty with open hearts and minds.
Exactly. Like, think about how much energy we waste
Oh, so
worrying about the past, planning for the future,
yeah,
instead of just being here.
right.
If this moment was all we had,
Hmm.
would we spend it differently?
Yeah, would we savor it more? I think a lot of people might actually find that idea kind of scary
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
But, Watts reminds us there's also like a profound freedom in letting go of that need to control everything.
So it's like surrendering to the flow of life.
Yeah.
Trusting that things are unfolding as they should.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
we encourage you to like sit with that question
Mm-hmm.
and see what comes up for you.
Yeah, what would it mean to truly live as if this moment were all there is?
And remember, embracing the present moment is a journey,
It is.
not a destination. It's an ongoing process.
It's okay if your mind wanders.
Yeah.
You get caught up in the past or the future sometimes. Just gently bring yourself back to this moment,
Right.
to your breath,
Yeah.
the sensations in your body.
It's not about being perfect.
No?
It's just about making that conscious effort
Yeah, just shift your focus.
to be present.
Be patient with yourself,
Yeah.
stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with it.
This has been such a great deep dive into the wisdom of Alan Watts.
It has.
And I know I'm walking away with a whole new appreciation for the power of the present moment.
Me too.
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.